Yan, GM, welcome to episode 13 of the BitPinas webcast. So thank you so much for everyone who is here right now. And shout out sa mga maaga. For those who don't know, I'm Michael. We are BitPinas, a crypto news publication that covers blockchain and crypto and NFT here in the Philippines. And every Thursday, we have this BitPinas webcast wherein we interview the newsmakers naman dito sa Pilipinas and even internationally about crypto and blockchain then. So that's every Thursday. If you want to visit our website, we have a lot of guides there even about Axie Infinity and other stuff about crypto. Go to www.bitpinas.com and just check out our Facebook every day. So our guest for today is Nix Eniego, the Philippines lead for Sky Mavis. So for today's webcast, I would like to bring up Chin, my co-host for today's webcast. Hi
Hey
Chin,
Mike,
magandang hapon. Yes,
good
thank you.
afternoon.
Yes, and thank you for coming back. No, well, lagi no. And so just a quick reminder to everyone in the comments, for our
Mm,
rule, we will not tolerate any rude comments towards us or our guests. So just keep it clean, and if you have some comments, kasi we have raffle then for everyone who will be commenting on our show, just mag-type lang kayo dyan ng comments natin. So yeah, so for the show, alam naman natin na there are a lot of Axie Infinity players dito sa Philippines and we have heard of BitPinas because of Axie. So and it is not every day where we get to hear directly from Sky Mavis themselves. So although I feel
yeah,
na that is going to change with Nix Eniego, no, as our Philippines lead for Sky Mavis. So we are going to interview Nix, the Philippines lead for Sky Mavis, and a portion of our interview will be about Nix himself, his background in tech startups and marketing, paano siya naging part ng crypto community, and eventually paano siya nakarating sa Sky Mavis. And
yeah.
yeah, with
And
Sky
Nix is
Mavis focusing more on competitive.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, and with Sky Mavis focusing more on competitive gameplay plans for their players here in the Philippines. And meron din tayong parapol sa lahat ng magko-comment sa Facebook sa ating Facebook. So, yeah, and Shin?
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention because Nix was one of our first guests here in the BitPinas webcast, and it's so nice, to have him come back and now as the Philippines lead for Sky Mavis. So actually interested to, it's actually very interesting to like know how the journey came from like his career in social media marketing up to PDAX and then now to Sky Mavis. So, Mike, do you want to bring Nix already up in
Yes,
our
so
webcast?
mm-mm. So yeah, hi Nix and welcome back to today's webcast.
Hey
Yun.
guys. Hello, hello, hello.
Ayan. So yeah, you were in the first episode of Bitpinas
Mm.
webcast. So I remember parang it was on the same day when we invited you. So salamat naman dun.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I remember we talked about Axie Infinity a lot during that episode, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then here you
So
are for with Sky Maybe. So
yeah,
yeah, so
amazing.
without let's begin, no? So Nix, you actually started in tech startups. You even became a marketing instructor and even went to San Francisco to learn and be mentored about marketing strategies, right? So if you can tell us a bit more about your background before you got into crypto for our audience.
Sure. Actually, when I was in college, nag-work na ako. No? So I was working, I was a content writer. I was doing articles for mga marketing websites, digital marketing, ganyan. And then eventually natuto ako ng search engine optimization or SEO. So lahat yung self-taught na while I was in college in UST.
Wow.
Um, when I was gonna graduate, parang sabi ko sa family ko, ito na lang gagawin ko. I'm good. I'm not gonna work anymore. Like, sa bahay lang ako. So, hindi pa uso yung work from home nun. So, you can imagine what they felt. Nakita lang na sa bahay lang ako. Just working and doing, online work for clients. And basically they told me get a real job, no. So nagalitan ako kung ako trabaho. So yeah, I worked at I got a day job at a retail company, fashion retail company. Then just normal, nothing special. I was just working. I was in marketing, but I found myself in tech. So I was really interested in tech. I was looking at trends and I was seeing then na parang the future would be like SaaS, software as a service tech company. So I wanted to work there, and I worked at I got like my first kind of I'd say best taste of experience kung minsan talaga ako na kumbaga na mold when I worked for this tech HR tech company called Sprout. And I was able to help them grow from they were zero, but like from say a zero to multi millions in valuation. So that was like my first taste of helping a company go big
Mm-hmm.
and taste some success. So. And yeah, a lot of other places. I was also fortunate enough to have worked in a informally with Facebook as a community circles lead. I was doing events for Facebook, evangelizing Facebook groups here in the Philippines. Started my own ano rin. I started my own online program, social media marketing
Oh,
course back in 2016. So if I'm not mistaken, that was one of, if not the first, yeah, sige, maybe one of, baka may nauna, baka mali ako. One of the first online courses in marketing, in social media marketing here in the Philippines. So
right.
yeah, and then fast forward, 2021, crypto, sobrang naging ano na tayo doon, medyo nag-focus na talaga ako sa crypto because I've been, eyeing it for a long time, and I did work at PDAX. The first time I was here, I was still with PDAX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now, now I'm here.
Yeah,
Right.
so it is interesting na parang, yeah, Chin, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to circle back, because next you started like working early, like through college, and then you found yourself in tech startups, but you mentioned nga with Sprout, it's like one of the most like famous like tech social media marketing HR companies that I'm familiar
Yes.
with. 'Di ba? So, like the journey from like focusing on marketing and then you founding like Social Media Academy. And for those of our audience who doesn't know what that is, it's an online school, 'di ba? Na teaches like social media and marketing strategy. So, from working in that industry to like founding that academy, like ano yung journey from that? Did you really fall in love with like digital marketing?
Yeah, I think it was kasi nung ano kahit nung nasa college ako, doon ako na-expose When I was doing freelance work, doon ako na-expose sa digital marketing, social media marketing and all that. But the course itself, yung ano natin, yung naging program, actually, ni-request lang siya ng mga tao. So, hindi ko siya pinlan. I didn't plan it. I didn't say na, o sige, goal ko na mag-create ng course. No? What I did was, I was just sharing about my journey every day. Mahilig ako mag-post dati sa Facebook. Nagsishare ako ng marketing strategies, experiences ko, dinodocument ko yung mga natututunan ko, tapos sinishare ko siya sa mga tao until may
Yeah.
mga nag-request na uy, can you make a course, ganyan, pwede bang turuan mo kami mas formally? So, dun siya nag-start. Kaya ko siya ginawa. On the side lang siya talaga. It wasn't full time. I was still working. I just like had a team to help like put that together, answer support. Tapos we do live classes every weekend,
Right.
online
And
classes.
oh, online classes. And then, yun nga, you mentioned then you were community circles lead at Facebook. So I assume that you were really working with like creating communities, engaging with people, especially like online and, using your social media marketing experience. Like, ano yung experience mo with like working with Facebook with that one
Yeah.
naman? And yeah.
I went to a lot of places because of that experience actually. So
Oh, did Nix get cut out? I, oh, Mike, you're on mute. Okay. I think
parang
he's back
kinig ako ni
there.
StreamYard.
Ayan, nawala. Nawala si Nix.
Sabi ng StreamYard, you got disconnected but it's not your fault. I mean, nagloko siguro yung app. Sorry, I was saying,
Sorry.
Facebook, parang that experience got me to a lot of places, no? So, nakapag-travel ako, like, we even went to Germany and they did like all this training for us. So it was actually a unique setup where there's only one person for every major city in the world who was like a community circles lead. So I was
Mm.
the chosen one sa
Oh,
Philippines
wow.
at that time. And the job basically or the role was simple. Like we evangelized community building. Because at that time, I think for many years, the focus that Facebook wanted to share was connecting people and then building communities. That was the motto of Facebook for like 3 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was just helping out with that. It was a great experience. Met a lot of people. Networked with. I now have friends from almost every single country in the world because of it. So it's been fun. It's a great experience.
Right, right. And with that experience, with Facebook meeting people from different parts of the world, ano yung parang key takeaway or yung pinaka-impactful na natutunan mo when you were on that role about like creating communities? Because I've seen like your Twitter, your posts, it's really like very engaging especially to like the Axie community. So ano yung key takeaway or like very impactful like lesson that you've learned with that experience?
Key takeaway, honestly, 3 words. Community is everything. Like it's literally everything. We can even go as close as the example of Axie. Axie wouldn't be here if not for the community. Axie wouldn't, still do what it's doing if not for the community, right? So community is everything, and it can be like it is maybe one of the most, not the most powerful motions of movement, basically,
Right.
in this industry. I think I'm a big believer of that.
Okay. And Axie Web3 crypto communities, I think most of them are being built out of like Web2 companies such as Facebook, no? And it's there's like this thing wherein there's a web 2 versus web 3 that's happening in the crypto communities. I just wanted to ask like anong thoughts mo about it? Do you think like web 2 really is an essential step to really further the web 3 communities, or medyo asan ka mas aligned with like web 3 giving more power to creators? Anong thoughts mo about that?
Yeah, so comparing which one, the Web3 giving more power
Web
to creators and the other, what was the other one?
the web 2 versus web 3 thing, anong thoughts mo about it? Because you're growing communities and you're using like different platforms.
Well, I think ultimately we're all going to be in Web3 at one way or another at one point at some point. Uh, but that doesn't mean we do not use the tools that is in front of us that helps us achieve our overall goal. Diba? For example, Facebook group, Axie Infinity, we have an official Facebook group for the Philippines. We use that to communicate and get people in. Like, hindi ko
Mm.
naisipin yun na parang web 2 na app to. Hindi ko, hindi ko na siya isipin ganun. Like, it's okay, no? Like, the point of web 3 is not like, we don't have to put labels or be very particular specific, but rather just use the tools that we have, no? But I'm a big believer of giving the power to the creators, to everyone. Big believer of that. And I think the social media platforms and all these other web companies are gonna have to adjust at some point anyway. So and I think they are adjusting. So they're going to be
Mm.
catering to this movement. It's either adjust or adapt or die. Parang ganun yung possibilities ko. So we're gonna adapt.
Right. And I think Mike, you have a question about Facebook.
Yeah, Nick, so I would like your opinion on this particular thing. So, di ba, Facebook is going Web 3.0. They recently changed their name to Meta,
Mm.
Meta as Metaverse. So, and knowing na madaming competitors na ngayon sa Facebook, and as so maybe last week or this week, they even announced that the user growth or usership has been stagnating na on Facebook. So, but how important is social media going forward in the Web 3.0 world?
Right. I think it's very important. Social media is their bridge to the rest of the world. I see it as a bridge to most of the people. Again, let's go back to Facebook. Facebook in the Philippines, I think 80 to 100 million people use Facebook in the Philippines alone, right? even those who are from lower income classes, they have access to Facebook. So I believe, Facebook or social media at large, it's very important for the overall mission. We can't ignore it. It's something that we have to take advantage of. No? Kung nandun yung tao, andyan tayo. Let's talk to them wherever they are. No? In marketing, there's this concept of that I feel strongly about, where go where your customers hang out, di ba? Go where your customers
Mm.
hang out. Saan sila tumatambay? Nakatambay sila sa Facebook, tara, dyan tayo. Dyan tayo makipag-usap. Dyan natin sila i-engage. No? So they'll be part of what we want to do. So if they're gonna be on Facebook, we have to be there. We have to support that.
Right.
Right.
And we have a lot of like Axie and Sky Mavis related questions. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask about your experience with PDAX. So before nung naging part ka ng webcast, you were still at PDAX, I think back then, no? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Yeah.
December last year. So, this is the question that we always ask yung mga guests namin. So, yun nga, you started from digital marketing, social media. How did you actually get into crypto and blockchain? And
Sige.
then eventually to PDAX.
Yeah, okay. So, funny story, noong 2011, I was doing freelance work, online work. I got offered by one of my clients 9 Bitcoin to create an article.
Wow.
He was gonna pay me 9 Bitcoin. At that
What?
time,
Nice.
Bitcoin was at $50, 50 to
Mm.
$55, right? I said no. I said no. Sabi ko, what Bitcoin? So ginugel ko pa siya, ano yung Bitcoin na. Guys, this is 2010, 2011, 2011.
2011.
I didn't know, no? I didn't know much. I mean, I knew marketing, ano ko sa digital marketing, pero like, ibang usapan yung crypto parang at that time, parang ano pa yan. And
Parang
parang,
scammy ba yung
yes,
naririnig mo? Scammy
that's
yan,
yung
ganyan.
sinasabi ko ng mga tao, parang ano yan, pang nerd lang yan. Mga ganun pang mga article, yun pa yung mga media, ano before eh. So sabi
Mhm.
ko sa client ko, no, can you just pay me in US dollars
Oh
as per
no.
usual? He paid me, for 450 for the article series. Now, the thing is, it's 9 Bitcoin, diba? But actually, it could have been more kasi that was a regular client. He could have been paying me more, diba? But here's the thing, no? I used to feel bad about that. I used to be embarrassed about that story until when I got to PDAX, I told this to a couple of people there, and may nagsabi sa akin na actually, you don't have to feel bad kasi baka kung tumaas din yun, kung yung 50 nag-75, baka binenta mo din kasi you didn't know any better, di ba? And I 100% agree. Like kung nag-$100 yun, baka binenta ko yun, masaya na ako doon sa 2x profit. So, hindi na ako nag-regret. But that was the first time I heard about crypto, Bitcoin, yan. So, noong 2020, during the pandemic, I got interested and had more time to get into to look into crypto. And my first formal engagement with crypto was with this nakakaya. It was this app na parang siyang gambling website where maglalagay ka ng Ethereum tapos may parang rocket ship na gaganon na pag nag-crash siya at 5x, so times 5 yung pera mo. Pag nag-crash siya agad, mawala lahat ng pera mo. Parang ganun. Yun yung una kong engagement with crypto. So, I actually made money there. I made over 1.8 ETH ata from doing that net. And sabi ko,
2020.
2020. Sabi ko, ayos But then, until I realized na parang I don't believe this is the future of crypto na pang sugal lang siya. Diba? So I was like, this feels silly. So I stopped doing that and I researched more. I kept reading about it until I decided to invest officially in crypto. I stacked up on some Ethereum lang. And that was how like my crypto journey started. And by the end of 2020, I was thinking, I was thinking what to do next with my career. Kasi nag-ano ako nag-focus ako sa business ko in 2020. So I resigned from whatever work I was doing business. But by the end of it, I was a bit unhappy with my business. Parang sobrang stressed ko, sobrang daming clients. Na-realize ko na ayoko pala ng ganun, na parang ang dami ko, parang 12 people yung pinoproblema ko, 12 accounts, 12, it was a marketing service,
Yeah.
kasi. Ayoko na nun, sabi ko, pero ayoko rin bumalik sa corporate work. Kasi naumay na ako, kaya nga ako balik, diba? So, that was my dilemma. I was like, you know what, if babalik ako sa work, it's probably just gonna be something I'm interested in. So at that point, saan lang ba ako interested in? I was just interested in gaming and crypto at that time. So parang obsessed lang ako, lagi ako nag-research about these new tokens, like, yun na
Mhm.
doon na naubos yung time ko. Sabi ko, mag-work ako para sa crypto. And ironically enough, no, a friend told me about an opportunity. I used to work with this person in Sprout, and I was like, we're
Mm.
looking for a head of marketing for PDAX. Why I want to explore that? I was like, see, get natin. And then yeah, I joined PDAX 2021. It was a great experience. I learned a lot more about crypto and got more embedded into this space. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was how it went.
I think madaming makaka-relate sa experience mo with like discovering crypto during 2020, no? And like researching about games, crypto, like trading, stuff like that. Nung nag-boom siya nung, during the COVID times. And then, when you actually entered PDAX, I think if I'm not mistaken, Nixa, it was June 2021. So I think that was the start of the spotlight ng Axie here in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, so when you entered PDAX and then Axie just like really blasted in, like, a lot of Filipinos were playing it. Ano yung experience mo with that? Working with a BSP license like crypto exchange and then seeing the growth of crypto here in the Philippines. Like as a marketing person, ano yung naging experience mo?
Fun fact, no, before Axie Infinity blew up, I'd say Axie blew up in July. That was when it eclipsed millions of
Mm.
users. I still remember one of my first meetings with PDAX. I mean, during as part of PDAX, it was like early June. Axie Infinity users was only at like 500,000, if I remember correctly. I was already saying we have to list SLP and AXS. That was like one of the first things I tried to push forward
Mm.
there. I, I guess the experience was like I knew that this was gonna happen. I mean, I knew that Axie was gonna be big. Like it just had all these check marks that I think, like kumbaga, if you have a checklist of things that could
Right.
how a checklist na parang if magsasucceed ba isang bagay, like I could see it, no, and I really was, as part of PDAX I was seeing it, and I was mostly happy, because I really felt strongly about NFT gaming being one of the main vehicles to for mass
Drivers of.
adoption,
Mhm.
cryptocurrency. Yeah, it was gonna be one of the main drivers for that. So me seeing that, no, I was really happy. I was seeing. I even saw the news MetaMask. Sabi sa BitPinas ko pa nakita yun. MetaMask announces 2 million new users from the Philippines. Duh, obviously it was from Axie, right? I mean, no offense, no one would do. Just randomly download MetaMask. They had to download MetaMask because of Axie Infinity. So that was really good. For me, with Pidasan, we were seeing that we were really happy because a lot of Filipinos were learning about this space, and it was just great.
Yeah, Nix. So right now it is interesting, no, because before you announce going to Sky Mavis, PDAX actually launched SLP and AXS on Ronin, yung pa. So now
Mm.
I'm not sure with the current numbers, but last time I checked, PDAX now has more than 500,000 users. I think madami na yun ngayon, but on the plans that you have spearheaded or some the plans that you are involved heavily involved with PDAX, what are you most proud of that? And do you think you'll have PDAX in a better shape than before you arrive?
What was the last part? Sorry, I think nag-cut off.
So yeah, so of the
Go ahead.
plans that you have spearheaded sa PDAX, no, ano yung pinaka most proud of ka doon? And do you think you'll have PDAX in a better position than before you arrive?
Okay. Um, Most proud of, I'd say, I think we really got to focus a lot on being embedded in the crypto community. I think that was one of the biggest where there was more visibility. We were always there when it comes to like NFT conversations or crypto conversations. I think that was one of the most important things. It was bringing a lot of PDAX into these areas of relevance in different sectors of in the industry. Because I think it's hard to market a cryptocurrency exchange. So you have to be very creative, and a lot of that is getting always making sure that you guys are top of mind. So I guess it's really more of the not really a specific project, but really kind of like the mindset siguro and the ideology that we were able to do collectively as a team to put to push PDAX into that kind of light. I'd say also I'd say also getting being part of kind of just the project na of getting tokens listed much faster. So I guess you guys have seen it. It's coming out there. They're coming out with new tokens almost every 2 weeks now. Um, and yun, before then it wasn't that the case. So that was one of the things that we lobbied for to give more options to the Filipino people. No? So I think that those are the things. And the last part of the question, I I hope so. I think so. It wasn't a very long time, but every single day there felt like it was a lot, like a long lot of hours. Not anything bad. It was good. It was a good thing. Parang we've accomplished a lot, and I'm proud of what we've been able to do there. So yeah, I hope so. I hope that's how PDAX feels as well.
Yeah, so for that time, so we certainly appreciate yung
Yeah.
comments mo about your internal happenings sa PDAX on na ngayon mas madami na nga. And totoo naman mas madami na na-release na coins doon ng yan, mas mabilis nang hindi kagaya dati na parang matagal bago may bagong coins na lumabas. So yeah, so March or it was March, no, February, when you announced that you are joining Sky Mavis as the Filipino Nix. And if we can circle back a bit, so you briefly mentioned that you are a gamer and that was one of your key focus gaming in crypto. So how did you discover, of course you discover Axie, but ano yung initial impression mo sa Axie Infinity when you first started playing it, and why did it click with you as a gamer? And I know that you also played um, competitively, 'di ba? Parang you are ranking din sa arena and all that. So why did it click with you as a gamer then?
Yeah. Um, Actually, I think I spoke Gio and I like talked about this before, and tumatak sa akin yung sinabi niya na parang I'll quote him on this, but I'm not sure if this is exact quote. He said something about Axie. One of the magical things about Axie is that it feels familiar, but it's also different. Um, it feels familiar how? Because well, it looks similar to a little bit, diba? Like you think Pokemon when you see it, but at the same time, it's also different. The gameplay is different. The characters are different. The way everything works is different. But there's that level of familiarity. And growing up, because I've been a huge Pokemon fan, I've been playing Pokemon Game Boy since I was a kid. During my early teen years, I was also playing Pokemon card game, ECG, competitively sa mga school circuits. So very ano siya sa akin, very perfect storm sa akin yung Axie being like almost close to Pokemon, and it also being a card game which I did play a little bit professionally as a kid no growing up. So when I first saw it and I started to play it, it was just like the first game. No, I remember my first game I lost it, pero like and me personally to share with you guys, I hate losing. As in galit talaga ako. Mas ano kaya sakit ko yun simula bata. Like, pag natatalo ako, nung pipikon ako. But that day, when I played Axie for the first time, I lost that game. I didn't feel angry. Actually, I was just smiling and just clicked play again. Like I just wanted to play again. So I just kept playing until I got better. So yeah, I like the gameplay. Like honestly, I think one of the things that piss me off the most is when I hear people when I see people na saying pangit naman ng Axie, hindi naman masaya. Kasi na-offend ako personally kasi gusto ko siya. And I talked about this before na I really think fun is subjective, diba? And to each his own. Like some people, there are 35 million people every month who love to play solitaire. 35 million people in the world, diba? Fun yun para sa kanila. So, we can't really judge kung ano yung fun para sa iba. But yeah, I love playing the game. I got addicted to it actually to the point na nung July nga na share ko na rin to na nung nag-down yung server, isa ako sa mga nag-grant sa Discord nila. So nakakatawa na ngayon na part na ako ng team kasi nung una, like, ano ako eh, di ma-hater, joke lang. Nag-grant lang ako kasi kung maglaro. Not for anything. I was just frustrated.
So,
Ayan.
mm. And yun nga eh, when you mentioned that nag-click sa yung game, and by the way, before ngayon we have this Axie version 2. Before, because I was playing the Axie Infinity noong 2019 pa, that time meron pa siyang auto battle pa siya noon. And sorry but super boring nung time na yon. So before this one, yung V2, and then yun nga later we will have this Origin, which we will ask more about later. So I would like to circle back. No, so you are the marketing. You have been into marketing, and you have seen how Axie is being used as a marketing tool by organizations. So even shall I say even politicians, and so what are your thoughts on this? So and then circling back because you mentioned early that is sa Twitter yung tungkol sa paggamit ng Pokemon Go marketing tool to have more people go to visit places and all that. So I think this is something that is similar. And but can you briefly share your thoughts on that matter?
Yeah, for those who don't have context into that, no, kasi I remember when Pokemon Go when Pokemon Go first launched, no, I was working as a marketing consultant. Uh, and I had my restaurant clients, no. We were the first, I'm pretty sure we were the first to use the Pokemon Go lures. Yung mga bibili kami ng lure, tapos lalagay namin dun sa restaurant. Tapos maraming Pokemon na lalabas. And sa Pokemon Go kasi may kita mo sa map kung saan yung mga lures, no. So we made the restaurants attractive so pupunta yung mga tao. And then may promo sa loob if team basta yellow, ano kasi yellow, green and red, Mystic, something something. I forgot the three clans there. Kung ano yung suot mo, tapos ano yung team mo, papasok ka doon, may day na para siya sa'yo, may promo ka. So we made it really until kinaya na siya ng mga bigger outlets like SM and Eastwood, ganyan. But that's fine. Anyway, yun yung context para may idea sila.
Mm.
So to answer the question, if people want to, leverage Axie brand, as long as they do it legally, or maybe they can also approach us. So I'm here. You guys can reach out to me if you want to do like partnerships or explore that. Feel free to reach out. If they're gonna use, and I see this a lot, no, giveaway. I'm giving away 20,000 SLP. I'm giving away 100 Axies. Follow me. Ganyan, ganyan. If you want to do that, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I think that's good for the game. I think that's good for Axie to raise awareness for Axie as well. But we're also open to more formal partnerships, right? Especially now that I'm here, these things are on the table. We're working on a few partnerships that I can't disclose yet, but they're going to be very exciting for the Filipino player.
Mm.
There's a lot. No? There's a lot of things that I really want to share, but I still can't.
Thanks.
We're working. We're working hard. We're gonna get these things out.
Right. And next, yun nga, you mentioned yung paggamit ng Pokemon Go with like restaurants. And I'm sure you've seen the articles or like posts of merchants accepting SLP and AXS, with interacting with their customers, accepting it as payment. Anong thoughts mo about that? And have you seen like personal experience? Have you tried using SLP or AXS to purchase something?
Okay. I've seen a lot of those. I actually know parang a friend of mine, cousin niya yung unang nag-post before na nag-viral yung Toyota branch na SLP pwede
Mm.
bang bayad sa kotse dati. So nakwento niya agad sa akin, tagal na yan, many months ago. So those merchants, like, we're happy to see those. No? We're happy to see those. Anyone who wants to do that, no, that's cool. I think that's given that a lot of people earn SLP, or at least have some stake in Axie, whether it's SLP or XS. I think that's a good thing. Ako personally, have I bought something directly with SLP to pay bills and stuff like that? I haven't, but I have like converted it into peso to pay for things. Last year, like, it paid for a couple of trips then for me, the SL. So there was this one season, there was this one 1 month in an Axie. Mataas sobra SLP nun, but not all time high.
Mhm.
Since I'm a competitive player, I win a lot of games every day.
Mm.
I have a 60 to 70% win rate. Nag-about that. So I do win a lot of games and I earn the maximum SLP 21 SLP per win, di ba? So there was a time that I made and then I had maximum energy. So there was like a month where I made a lot of money talaga just playing it like every night before I go to sleep. No? Right from that alone, I can remember I've been able to pay for a lot of things. And it's fun. Still now and more of ang strategy ngayon, I'm not really. I'm just keeping the SLP. I'm keeping it, saving it to breed some Axies for Origin.
Yun, Origin. So, yeah, Nix, you are now with Sky Mavis, and as I mentioned before, matagal na yung Axie Infinity, right? 2018 nag-start siya, and then lumabas na dito sa Pilipinas kahit pa dati pa 2019, 2020. So, now ikaw na yung Philippines lead. My question on that is bakit ngayon lang nagkaroon ng Philippines lead Sky Mavis para sa Axie Infinity dito sa atin when for example naging popular siya nung pang 2021 and even in 2020 when the scholarships first started.
Mhm. Well, I guess I can't speak for Sky Mavis or the founders. I don't know the exact answer, but I do have a theory, and I think okay, that's fair enough to make this assumption. I mentioned this before to you guys, no, Mike and Chin, nung
Mm.
first webcast nyo. When you guys ask like what do you guys think is next, what, di ba, parang tinanong nyo sa amin or sa audience, diba, guys think about Axie Infinity, may next level pa ba to, ganyan. And I remember I said, uh, I think Axie Infinity was just in its opening act, like it's literally
Yeah,
just still
yeah.
getting started, and I still believe that. So if we put it into that context, I think the reason why they didn't hire anyone before was it just wasn't time yet, like kumbaga ngayon pa lang, no, I think like this is the year. It's showtime. It's time to go all out, no. With Origin coming out, it's a product that the company is 100% proud of. Like it's a game that we want in the hands of every person in the world, right? Like it's we feel that it's ready for mass adoption. So I think before maybe the team didn't feel that the current version was for mass adoption talaga of hundreds of millions of players. Like it could be that, no? And they really wanted to transition into Origin. So that could be the reason why it wasn't done before. But I think now is a great time now that we're expecting with Origin to as it comes out, there could be millions and millions more players who would come in, and it's nice now that we do have kind of this better structure into how to handle things, at least here in the Philippines and in other regions as well. There's some movement there in also placing regional leagues.
Right. And I think our audience are super excited to, bring up their questions that we had from Twitter and then Facebook and then in the comments. But before we go into that, with your role as the Philippine lead for Sky Mavis and Axie Infinity, ano yung like key plan mo or future plans that you have for like Filipino community? Like if you can say like one key point of focus for you, Nix.
It's a good question. I'm right now, like to be honest with you, like I'm at this point right now where there's no hindi lang siya one key point. Like there's so many things now we're trying to catch up on.
Yeah.
Um, but I think like in a nutshell, I always said this was my goal even before I joined Sky Waves or Axie Infinity. I always said that parang I want Axie to be in every Filipino home. That was always my dream. Even before I joined the team, like that was my dream. Like I want like a future where there's Axie or an Axie team in every Filipino home, and I think that is the number one goal. It is to grow this part even more. We have the most users right now. Um, Obviously I want every person in the world to have Axie, but I also like it if we could still long term be like the Axie capital of having like the most people. Um, so yeah, really getting the community as tight knit as possible, hearing everyone's feedback and using making sure that everyone is heard, no? And we've been doing this a couple of I think medyo na test na natin to ngayon. I'm not gonna go specific kasi ayoko ng controversy doon. Pero there was this instance lang na there was something na the community didn't agree with in terms of ideas, and we pinost natin siya sa Facebook community ng Philippines, and people gave their feedback. I brought it to the team, and then we were like, okay, sige, let's not do that because people don't want that. So I want people to feel that they are heard, and that they are important. Now, each and every lunation is very important to this mission. So that's really what I want to do. Now, in terms of specifics, that means, when you want to build a community, what that does mean, or when you want to grow the community or user base, what does that mean? Syempre, you can expect future events. You can expect get-togethers. We'll also be assisting in Philippine local tournaments here in the Philippines. We can also will also be spearheading partnerships to grow, just both the user base and to add even more value to the Axie Infinity players. Um, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot, there's a lot to unpack there, but those are some of the things we're working on.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Nix, no? And now, for those who just arrived dito sa webcast namin, we're speaking with Nix Eniego, the Philippines lead for Sky Mavis, the developers of Axie Infinity. And so far, we have talked about the background in tech and marketing. And now we are moving to the questions that we received from our Twitter thread and the questions here on our Facebook. So, yeah, Nix, ready ka na dito?
Let's go.
Okay. So this is the first question from ARLDH. So shout out. People always see the short-term effects. How would you make them see that Axie is the next big thing? So yeah, Nix, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Aldrix. How do we make them see this next week? So our focus at with Axie Infinity is to make it, you know a very fun and engaging game. That ultimately that is the goal. To make it the best game possible that people can play and enjoy, and at the same time, as they enjoy, as they progress, they also earn rewards, right? So fundamentally speaking, that's how it is. When I think about people being upset about price volatility or S&P price and all that, no, it's this question is correct. Na parang, but I also don't blame anyone. No? It's normal to feel upset when a token is down or when the economy is not at its best. No? But the guarantee here, no, obviously we can never guarantee SLP price. That's something that cannot be fixed. Like, I mean, the economy can be fixed, but like I see a lot of posts about fix SLP. Like that, it's not that simple. But what we can fix, or what we can do, what we can work on, and what we are working on, is creating an amazing game that Filipinos and every other person in the world, regardless of nationality, will be able to enjoy. And once these experiences are out, we can expect potentially better economy with more diverse players coming into the game in terms of what their motivations are. Having gamers who want to play because they're collectors, more so than wanting to this or an SLP, di ba? Parang they want to come in, they want to collect every single rare Axie, or players who want to come in because they want to play land and want to do that kind of gameplay. So the more, as we grow the community, as we bring out these new experiences and these new games, as well as the upcoming Axie Builders program, there will be more opportunities for people, and it's gonna be easier once those are out. That's why I'm excited for Origin. I say once that's out, at least that's another thing that we have out there where people can see and understand this vision, or this vision even more. No? See, now I understand some kasi feeling now we're just talking about it or talking about Origin. But once it's out there, I think that there will be more. It's much easier to paint that picture for those who can't see through long term.
Right. Thanks for answering that question. I hope the person who asked the question really like understood your POV when it comes to like seeing the short term effects versus the long term effects. So now we're moving on to this second question. Axie was focused on building communities. But now here's a question for Irvin Buen. What can you say what the continuous decrease of active players in the Axie Infinity ecosystem? And do you believe it what Axie Origin would bring in the future of Sky Mavis? So this might be like a challenging question for you, Nick. So interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Decrease of active players. Obviously, like I think that's a little bit unfortunate. As much as possible, I want to see more people playing, but at the same time, I can also understand. We've made it really clear that our focus is with Origin, and since that isn't out yet, I can understand if some people are getting impatient or they don't want to do anything with it until at least Origin is out, no, or until it launches. So I'm hopeful. I'm really optimistic with Origin. We've been playing it internally, testing it. I really love it, no, and this is coming from someone who loves the current version. So I like this even more than that. And it's exciting. I really feel that, especially with the free to play aspect, we're going
Mm.
to see a lot of new players getting into the excitement of playing Axie Infinity and being part of this movement. And at the same time, I also have this feeling that some of the players who quit or took a break playing Axie, I think they'll come back, and I hope they come back. It's gonna be a fun game.
Right. So thank you so much for that, Nix. And then the next question, um, you are from a tech startup, di ba, before transitioning to crypto and, continuing doing what you love, which is in marketing and playing games. So for the people who are new to crypto, I think question, crypto, new to Web3 and the things alike, how would you welcome them?
This is I'm gonna take a parang biased answer here. Depending on when this person asks, kunwari may ano, I'd probably get that person into Axie, especially with the free to play version now. Why? Because I believe that gaming is the easiest or one of the easiest ways to onboard anyone into crypto. We've seen Axie Infinity do that last year, and the onboarding was hard. I mean, the whole process was hard. It wasn't
Yeah.
even easy,
Mm-mm.
and yet 2 million, 2 million plus people are able to do that. No? So I believe gaming is a good way to welcome people into this space, and I'm hopeful that with Origin being free to play, we could do this. Now, aside from that, siguro I'd encourage people who are new to really there's this good I forgot there's this good video on YouTube explaining blockchain. Like understand blockchain first. Read about watch videos on blockchain before you kind of go deeper. Before you even research about Dogecoin o kung anong coin na narinig mo. Learn about blockchain and go from there. Read BitPinas articles also. Daming content dyan.
All right. Okay. Next question. Let's move into okay, so this one. This is quite different from like the Axie, but in what ways can the government help the NFT startup industry in the Philippines? You came from like a cryptocurrency exchange and then moving into something that's really focused on blockchain NFTs. Anong thoughts mo about this, like government helping these types of projects?
Actually, I wish I knew the answer. I feel like I don't. Like I don't know what the government is able to do, but I hope that I do wish that they would be supportive. Though. I'm just not sure that there's much that they can do now with the elections just gonna come up now. Baka into the next regime now we might be able to see. I just find it a bit hard to grasp if meron pa silang planned na projects eh. But I do hope that the Philippine government can support. No, maybe that means working closely with NFT projects. Understanding their goals, understanding what they want to accomplish, and supporting that. Basically supporting instead of condemning. No? I'm not saying government's condemning. I'm just saying take that take make get like have an open mind and focus on like collaborate and support versus trying to cut anyone's wings before they could even fly. I think that's my hope that the
Mhm.
government will be able to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nix. And moving on to the next question. So you see this a lot, no? So what can you say and how will you be able to encourage those fooders, which is fear uncertainty for our audience, or people who only looks into the value of SLP? And I think you also see this a lot or read this a lot. May mga fake messages, fake posts from, from Axie devs na hindi naman pala totoo. So you probably have received some messages then of hate. So how do paano kaya 'to mawawala? Ang ganyan.
Okay. I don't think mawawala siya completely. No? So I'll be honest, like I don't think mawawala siya completely. Um, we can't really please everyone. There will always be people who will be unhappy. I remember before when SLP was like 10 pesos, I still saw a lot of people na nagrereklamo kasi hindi na siya 21 pesos. And so I put this into two things. Eh. Number one, there needs to be a lot of education, a lot more of education to happen within this industry, within this space. And I think that's part of our job as well in Axie or in Sky Mavis to be part of that movement of educating people about cryptocurrency, about market volatility, about market cycles. Maybe not us directly, but like at least we can
Hmm,
collaborate with someone. Um, but my message, I think, for people the second part, like people who only look into the value of SLP, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to look at the value of SLP. I actually look at it every day on CoinGecko. I check it. I just because sometimes like may ano na ako, I have internal notes. Like I know people's moods. Like depende siya sa price. Like I know if ano yan, if above a certain number yan, alam ko kung mas madali kong usap yung mata. Alam ko pag ganito siya, below siya sa ganitong number, alam kong mas bad mood yung mata. So like I have to check because I need to know what kind of audience set yung mood
Yeah,
ng
sentiment.
natin, right? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with looking at it, but do not at least I think you don't have to pin everything or like your hopes into like what SLP value is because again it's all about how the game will progress, how these unique experiences will be out there, and once it's out there, once the game is fun for a lot of people, the price will the market will dictate. No? The market will dictate these prices. So focus on the things that you can control. Focus on improving your game, playing your arena, collaborating with the community, creating content maybe, diba? Or being part of the community. There are actually a lot of opportunities aside from playing the game. So in this in the Axie Infinity ecosystem, no? We have a lot of content creators. Like you could be a content creator, you could be a community leader, you could be a collector, you could be a coach. May mga arena na tuturo na
Mm.
rin sa arena, coach. May magtuturo rin paano mag-breed, di ba? It's our goal is to grow into that kind of digital nation with its its own economy, different jobs for different people, different roles for different people, and yeah, I think we can get there. So
Yeah, thank you for that. And interesting nga na na-mention mo na if you are not playing the game, merong ibang there are
Yeah.
other things that you can try. That you can be a content creator, you can also be a streamer and all that. So madami talagang ways or breeder din. So madami talaga siya. And now the next question is a setup. I'm not sure if you can read this, but this is more on Axie Origin.
yeah,
So
again we can do that.
yeah, so the first question is mas mabilis ba daw yung gameplay ng Origin versus Axie?
Mas mabilis ba yung gameplay? I think so based on my experience, mas mabilis yung Origin kaysa sa Classic. So we call this version that we're playing now Axie Infinity Classic, and then Origin is the E3.
Okay,
Yeah, mas
so and
mabilis. Hindi ko masagot yung same din kaya ang earnings per MMR bracket or magiging iba. We don't know that yet. And actually yung alpha version will not have SLP earnings.
Mm. And then kung yung mga access ba namin ngayon is something that we will use dun sa susunod na dun sa Origin.
Yeah, the axes you guys have now, it can be used for Origin. No need to worry. No need to think about buying something new. Uh, yeah, you can use it. Wala problem. Actually, yung take a close look at your axes now in the marketplace or in the game. Picturean nyo na sila. Because when Origin comes out, they're gonna look different. Right? They're
Ah,
they're gonna have
good thing.
a makeover.
Yes, thank you for that, Nix. And for those of you who have more Axie Infinity Origin related questions, so last March 6, merong interview si Nix with X Eniego, no? And they talk about more dito sa Origin, more on yung mga data. So you guys check that out. So yeah,
Yeah.
moving on. So
So,
okay.
yeah, we have like a couple more questions like after this one, but you can answer this as fast as you can because baka mag-overtime tayo and you have something in your schedule next. But yeah, the next
Okay,
question is, okay lang, okay.
okay lang kayo.
Sige,
May tayo pa tanong.
sige. In V3, is there a possibility to have it on iOS? Ayan.
So our
I think
goal,
madaming nagtatanong nito.
yeah, I think a lot of Apple, a lot of iPhone users are looking forward to this. No?
Mm-mm.
So we're working on it. We're working on it. Getting approved on app stores and play stores is not easy,
Yeah.
especially for a game like ours, no, where there's cryptocurrency involved. But we're working on it, no. But to set expectations, don't expect an Apple or an App Store release this late March when we launch Origin. Don't don't
Okay.
don't expect that. But we're continuously working on it. Like maybe there's a miracle, but don't count on it. But we're confident that this year you will be able to get it out on both App Store and Play Store, but
Okay.
not immediately this March.
All right. And then the next question is how many burning mechanism will be released on V3?
So currently, the burning mechanism for SLP is the breathing, right? We are we have a new mechanic in the game where you can craft. So there's crafting. You can craft power ups. So there are two kinds of power ups. You have runes and you have charms. So those are two different things. And to craft them, you would need SLP and another
Mm,
token in-game currency that is off-chain. When we say off-chain, it's not something that you'll be able to sell for cash or hindi siya parang SLP or AXS na nasa mga exchange. It's just in-game currency lang siya called moon shards. No? So to craft these power-ups, the runes and charms, you need SLP, you need moon shards, and then you craft them into the these power ups. No? So that is the burning mechanism that will be introduced for Origin. But when Origin launches its alpha later this month, at least the target is late this month. No? Um, crafting will be introduced, but I'm not sure if we're going to. I don't have the information on whether it's gonna be an actual burning mechanism already. I have to double check on that, so I can't answer. But the plan is at least with Origin as a whole, that will be a burning mechanism for SLP.
right. And just to clarify, the new token na off-chain is Moon Shards? Tama ba?
Yes.
Okay, Moon Shards. All right. Okay, next question. Will there be an adventure in Origin or wala na talaga? Thanks in advance. From
That's
Carmina.
a great question. That's a great question, Carmina. There will be adventure in Origin, and in fact, the adventure mode in Origin is much more fun. It's much more fun than before. There's a story. There's a storyline. May
Mm,
kwento.
May lore. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and you get to meet different axes ng mga characters. May mga may kilala kayong mga axis na characters and with all their own personalities as well that you'll be able to learn about. So adventure now is much better than adventure before. Hindi ako before di ko nilalaro masyado yung adventure but now no, I actually play it and there's a lot of incentive to play adventure now because you can grind for these moon shards and unlock, new characters or new starter axes that you can play with as well. So it's fun. So I love our new adventure mode.
Right. Thanks for those answers. It's something to really look forward to, especially sa mga super Axie fans with the personalities of those Axies. Ayan. I think we have a couple more questions, Mike, from the Twitter thread that we had.
Yes, so may mga questions pa from Twitter thread and some of them are dito sa mga nagko-comment ngayon sa Facebook natin.
Yeah.
So, i-flash na lang natin, no, from Senyor
Mm.
Escanio. Kailan daw po ang Axie Convention? Next, kailan daw ito mangyayari?
Are you talking about like Philippines? So,
Yes.
uh, so there's no specific date yet. What I can share with you guys, I'm very open, naman, like to, I'm very transparent. So, I'm currently working on like a framework on how we're gonna do events here in the Philippines. Um, I don't have a date on a specific like Axie convention or something like that, no. But we're planning some events here in the Philippines for sure. And the best part here is actually I wanted to get into a stage where the events doesn't even have to be organized by myself. Like we want to be able to empower some community members to host their own Axie meetups. So that's
Mhm.
something I'm developing now. So
Right.
you'll see some that's organized by Sky Mavis for sure. But the goal is like, my dream is that there's gonna be a lot of satellite events happening all over the Philippines, that is an Axie Infinity event. So that's gonna happen very soon. So just give me some time, guys. I literally just started, but we're gonna get there. No, Senor. No, we're gonna get there. We're planning some good ones, good events.
Ayan. You heard that, no? So, magkaka-Axie Convention at some point. So, wala pa lang
Fine.
masyadong
Who
plan.
knows?
So,
Who knows when? But at some point,
So, it is interesting, no, when you mention na magkakaroon ng parang imbis na Sky Mavis organize, pwedeng yung
Yeah.
mga community mismo.
Community.
And if kung tama yung pagkakalala ko, na parang ganyan din sa ibang games. Like, may ibang mga MOBAs, like, people can actually organize themselves with the support of of the game company.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
interesting that you're going to take that approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That was one of the main. That was the one of the first things that I said before I took this road. Like that was always the plan.
Mm. Thank you for that, Nix. And then, so from Evans, can you hint us on other games in Sky Mavis? I think the question here is that is Sky Mavis right now focused, diba, on Origin, or do you have other plans for other games at some point?
Our focus now is Origin. There's a lot of work that is input into that, but our other focus is Land Project K.
Mm-mm.
Where so I can't give details on Land obviously, but here's what I can say. To at least assure people, no? Kasi I think there's some people who feel na parang baka yung mga, lalo na alam ko last year, ang dami nag-expect na lalabas yung Land ng December eh. Kasi nasa white paper, diba? December. Like, I'm aware of that. I actually thought that as well.
Mm-mm.
So at least I want to give this assurance. No? Or the focus is Origin. No? We're making Origin as awesome as possible. But that doesn't mean that Land isn't being worked on. So there's a team dedicated on Land. So nothing is stopping there. While Origin's coming out, there's a team like doing Land. So yes, you can. I guess you can expect. I don't know the dates. I can't promise any dates, but you have Origin. We're working on Project K, and we just launched the Axie Builders program, which are
Mm.
like we're encouraging game studios and indie game developers to create games within the Axie Infinity ecosystem. No, so we're already starting to see good contenders from that. No? Subaybayan nyo siya sa Twitter, type nyo, hashtag Axie Builders. Type mo yun sa Twitter, may kita mo yung mga ginagawa ng community. So, some of my favorites is yung Axie War Kart. So, parang siyang Mario Kart slash Twisted
Ayan.
Metal kind of game na nakasakay yung mga Axie sa kart, sa motor, tapos race kayo and in the same train. So parang Mario Kart. So that's one of my favorites. Meron ding parang Smash Bros or Brawlhalla style naman. May gumagawa rin ng MOBA na Axie game. Marami, sobrang dami. May gumagawa rin ng tower defense na game. So yeah, those are the exact things. So they are not created per se by Sky Mavis, but if they get accepted into the Axie Builders program, they will be supported by the company.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Nix. And it is interesting that you brought up yung tungkol sa Twitter, wherein napansin ko nga din yung mga Sky Mavis developers, sina Gio, sina Zayori, which was our guest last time. Siguro I would like to bring up na parang what I can see based on Axie is that there's a lot of misinformation about Axie, particularly on Facebook. Na wala na if you can just go to Twitter nakikita mo nandun, or if you can just read the white paper actually nandun siya, or the Axis Substack. So Nix, you are the Philippines lead. So what are you doing to make sure na mawala itong mga misinformation o
Yeah.
itong mga information gap, especially Facebook is the Philippines is the Facebook capital. That's also one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Agree. So we just recently started working on localization for our content. We are making localized versions of the dev updates, the announcements. We're going to improve that into get it to a level na mas ano siya, mas streamlined and mas specific and mas real time. Additionally, we are starting to leverage the main Axie Infinity official Facebook group. No, we're starting to be more active there, posting more there. I'm also working on getting some partnerships with existing Facebook groups. I haven't spoken with everyone yet. I've chatted with a few. Pero goal ko kasi sana like bigyan nila ako ng moderator admin access sa
Mm.
group nila para makatulong ako. Like, so every time there's an announcement, we're just gonna blast it on all groups, no? Kasi actually mas malaki ang reach ng Facebook groups kesa sa Facebook page. Sa totoo lang. Mas malaki ang reach ng mga Facebook group kesa sa Facebook page. So kung
Mhm.
pagsasama-samahin mo ulit ng Facebook group ng Axie, tapos sabihin natin makakapag-post tayo na sabay-sabay, makakatulong yun sa pag-squash ng mga misinformation, no? So that's the goal. I'm trying to work on that as well. But localization is very important. We're also working on a localized version of the white paper of Axie. And we're going to discuss that as well. So pag na-localize na yan, we're also gonna localize yung community treasury article. So these are mga important pieces of information that we feel that the Filipinos need to know. Kailangan malaman ng mga Filipino. Kasi marami naman sa Philippines, we understand English. We understand English, pero yung to truly understand and fully grasp something for everyone, minsan kailangan localize yan. Minsan
Yeah,
kailangan
I
English
agree.
or
I agree.
Filipino. So, yun yung goal din namin, no? We're getting that or pressing natin, working on that para mas maintindihan ng lahat ng players natin. But yeah, hindi talaga natin maiwasan. Ang dali-daling mag-inspect element, tapos i-edit yung edit yung account ni Gio, tapos may kunwaring sinabi. I mean, yun yung nangyari yun a few weeks ago. So, I think meron talagang ganyan. No? So, as players or as members of the community, let's just be more vigilant and let's be more careful and let's think then like kung parang imposible naman yan, huwag tayo agad maniwala na yung na fake news nung 2 weeks ago parang magsasara na daw yung Axie dahil sa war sa Ukraine, which is parang hindi naman make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great answer, Nix. I think we have one more question, Mike. If you can flash it sa screen. Ayan, from Evans. Paano po kayo nag-start sa pagiging Axie developer? I think ang question is how can people start to be involved with Sky Mavis and Axie,
I'm
if I'm
looking
not
at the
mistaken.
comments there. I think he's trying to ask, he mentioned the competence, he's asking how I got discovered by Axie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so can you answer the question?
Yeah, I
How
think
did
yun
you
yung
actually...
how did I end up here? I think yun yung
Mm.
question niya. Di ba natin napag-usapan? Di ata. Sige. Sige, para kay Evans. The rest. So, I actually started playing June. And I think by August, I've been grinding the leaderboards already. So, I've been a top 50 player as well. I joined tournaments and all that. So I'm very competitive player in Axie. Tambay lang ako sa arena channel before, pero tinigil ko din kasi nag-focus nga ako sa paglalaro. Mahirap din, di-discord ka pa, naglalaro ka pa, may work ka pa, so parang hindi ko na inano. But hobby ko din noon mag-tweet eh. So lagi ako nagtutweet
Mm.
tungkol sa Axie, nagsishare ako ng gameplays ko, ganyan. And then, ayun, finalo ako ni Jeff, ni Jiho. Tapos at some point, napansin ko parang every time nagpo-post ako ng mga threads, ganyan, nila-like niya, minsan nire-retweet niya. And then one day he messaged me, nag-usap lang kami, nag-chat kami, kwentuhan lang kami. And we got on a call, a meeting, parang ganito, we got on like a Google Meet call, talked about a lot of things, got to know each other, and then he basically presented this opportunity to me. He asked me what I thought about working for them, no, for Axie, and yeah, that's how it started. So, but to answer your question, like in terms of discover, I guess it was actually just because I created a lot of content, no. So content creator, competitive player, I guess, and then they noticed me and they reached out. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I also noticed before, as in, ang dami mong post on Twitter and you're really, like providing information and value to the community. So I guess like just putting out content and bringing value further sa Axie community, no, is one of like the key things that you did para ma-notice ka and like to be given this opportunity working with Axie Infinity. I think that's the last question, Mike. Is there anything else?
Can I
Yeah,
address
but
question yung
Go.
finance kanina, si kay Rami TV. It's a very
kay
interesting
Rami,
question.
hi Rami, itong Axie tournaments.
Yeah.
I'm not
Meron
into
na kasi ako good answer kay Rami a few hours ago before this. Uh, I was in a meeting with a tournament organizer, and I asked them that question. I was like, um, do you have any plans on creating a tournament where it's open qualifiers, anyone can join, doesn't have to be streamers or content creators? They said yes, they're working on it. So we can expect these kinds of events or tournaments where it's free for all. No? They committed to that. I'm not gonna name who, but they committed to that. So that's at least one uh, tournament
Mhm.
organizer who confirmed it's gonna be like hundreds or thousands of people on open qualifiers. So they have that plan. You can also visit communitygaming.io.
Ayun.
Communitygaming.io. Axie GG hosts daily tournaments open for anyone. Daily tournaments open for anyone. I think their prize pool is $100 every day, so that's still 5k pesos
Wow.
if you win, di
Mhm.
ba? Join that, no? You don't have to be a content creator to join those tournaments. So follow mo lang sina Axie GG, or I think their official page is Esports for Everyone. Esports for na number everyone sa Twitter. But yeah, you can check it out sa communitygaming.io. Nandun yung links niya. But yeah, the goal is Rami, no. I share the same vision as what you just said. I think with Origin actually, imagine with Origin there will be free axes, starter axes, right? Ang dream ko, merong player na free to play player lang, tas gamit niya is yung mga starter axes, tas magcha-champion siya sa tournament. Like, gusto kong makita mangyari yon. I think possible. No, malay mo. So yeah, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of diversified gaming and
Yeah.
plays, especially for tournaments.
Yeah. And yeah, thank you Rami for that shout out. Yes, nice content on Rami TV nga pala. Ano kayo like yung binabasa, and shout out also to our BitPinas writers. Mukhang may breaking news dito. uh, but
Nagsusulat na
Nix,
sila.
you are ano, nga, I see a lot of posts on Twitter ulit na parang Sky Mavis is hiring. So can you elaborate on that? You are continuously growing your channel. Tama ba ako?
Yeah, so I think there's an official website where the jobs are, job openings are. Um, there's a lot. Yeah, there's it's still growing. I think there's the vision here is for us to be able to execute the vision. to and reach the full potential, we need more people for sure. So people are free to check out that link. I think a lot of the openings are for in engineering or game development. Meron ding parang naging opening for lore writer para
Yeah, I
magsulat ka
saw
ng
that.
stories
Mm.
ng lore, ganyan. So may mga interesting things din doon. So you guys should check that out if you could be qualified or if you know anyone in the class. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think ano to? Sige, Nix, ito na lang last, no? From Kenneth Purisima. Hold on. So, sir, posible po ba magkaroon ng additional access sa team or 3 versus 3 pa rin? So, I guess yung 3 versus 3 pa rin ba yung Axie game sa susunod or magiging 5-on-5 ba siya or something?
Three on,
5
yeah.
on
3 on 3 is still the same. Still the same. But may mga skills na kasi where you can summon some creatures to help you in battle.
Mm.
So hindi siya Axie, pero may mga mas summon. Makikita niyo actually sa picture ng Origin article, may parang nakita kami ibon doon na nag-ano ng tubig, tapos may parang halaman or parang mushroom ba yun or something. So may mga summons, pero they're not Axies. Okay, they're not Axies, but it's mainly 3 on 3. But there's some new cards or some new artifacts that allows you to summon some minions or some creatures to help you in battle.
Yeah, some extra characters.
Mm.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think. Go
I
ahead, Mike.
think those are most of the questions and you don't have time unfortunately, but thank you so much, Nix, for staying. So yeah, if you have, I guess, your final thoughts about the Axie community in the Philippines na lang, and then where can people find you if ever di pa nila alam?
Yeah, so I think you guys, I have two call to actions, I guess. So, follow Axie PH official on Twitter, Axie PH official. So that's our official Twitter account for Axie Infinity Philippines. You can also follow me at Nix Eniego, Nixeniego, on Twitter. So most of my updates are there. I'm thinking of reviving my Facebook page also so that I can provide updates on Facebook. I'm gonna work on that siguro before Origin launches. Um, and the Facebook group, no? So we also have an official Facebook group which is Axie Infinity Philippines official community. So doon yung mga updates, that's where we post updates all the time. Um, I highly encourage you guys to be part of there or the AxiePH Discord also, discord.gg/AxiePH if you're not part of it. Our goal really now is to provide more transparency for people. And there are a lot of
Yeah.
Mm.
conversations happening actually. Maraming conversations na baka hindi nyo palang nakikita or you're not part of yet. No? So I highly encourage you guys to engage with those channels that I shared. Kasi there's a lot of conversations and we're getting a lot of feedback. People's feedback are actually being implemented into games or being considered to not implement things. So nangyayari na ngayon yun. I know reklamo yun before ng mga tao. Parang wala daw nakikinig. So nakikinig
Mm.
tayo, nakikinig kami, nakikinig ako. So yeah, let's go there. And lastly, let's get ready, mentally, physically, emotionally for Origin. No? It's coming soon.
Okay. So thank you so much, Nix. And before we go, no, meron pa nga pala tayong SLP na pa-couple. So eto muna. So ang ating first winner, nandiyan na
How
naman si
many
BitPinas.
viewers do we have now? If you guys don't mind. Or nakikita nyo pa? Tingnan
Yeah,
natin.
right now we have 34. Tapos I'm not sure what meron sa YouTube at this point.
Yeah,
Sige,
there's
check.
Twitter also.
Mhm.
Meron akong gagawin eh. Wait lang.
Sige. But by the way,
May,
Jello Cortez, nanalo ka ng 1,000 SLT. Message mo lang kami sa dito sa page namin. So, and then next one. Okay, so Julian is a I'm really nanalo ka na naman.
Let's do something fun. Sige,
Ah,
congrats pala yan, kay Julian.
no, Julian is a bit pinas cannot
Yeah,
change.
so isa pa.
So isa pa. Sorry, Julian.
So we have 25 sa Twitter, so we have like over 50. Uh,
Sige, Nix. What did you have in mind?
so after nito, uy, si
Yan, Hazel Kit Campo. So, nanalo ka ng 1,000 SLP. Mag-message ka lang sa amin. Congratulations. So,
Dax.
Ah, pin from PDAX.
yeah, oo. Hi,
Uh,
Hazel and hi sa Pidax. Yeah.
let's do something fun if you guys are open to it. Whoever can guess, so let's do this, no? Comment natin sa mga tao yung hula nila na exact date ng origin.
Ah,
Yeah.
Tapos, tapos siguro i-collect ko na lang yung comment. I'll just do it. So, comment nyo guys yung tingin yung launch date ng
exact.
origin and yung tama. So, lahat ng tama. Kunwari, may multiple na tama. Let's say, ang daming nagkasabay-sabay na tama na date. I-raffle ko siya on the day of launch and we're gonna give away a gift. Okay? We're gonna give away, it's probably an Axie or AXS or like, I don't know the gift, but there's gonna be a reward to whoever can pin down the exact date. So just put in your comments there. Kahit sa Twitter, kahit sa Facebook, kahit sa nakikinig, pabalikan ko yan. If tama yung date na nakuha mo, you're gonna win. If ikaw lang yung nakahula. If not, i-raffle, i-coin toss ko kayo or
Kung
i-generate
sino.
ko.
Okay,
Yeah,
sige.
thank you for that. Next, actually, dapat yun yung question kong last. So, when origin, yun yung huli kong tanong eh. And
Oh,
with
hindi
that,
niyo na pwede sagutin.
What I can say is the goal
Clues.
is the target talaga is March. I mean I think that's the one thing that we're super focused on is to ship it out this March. As far as like what date, hulaan na lang ng mga viewers natin.
yeah. Ayun, may
One
sumagot ng
entry lang
April.
One entry lang yun. So hindi pwede mag-spam ka na iba't ibang date, hindi ko i-count. So kung ano lang yung una mong sinabi.
Kung ano yung una, yeah. Nagsabi ng
Okay.
April 1, so March daw eh. So, so
Hindi
yeah, thank you
counted.
so much, Nix, and thank you so much for coming here dito sa BitPinas webcast, and thank you to Shane, our co-host. So, Shane, if you have also some final words and where people can find you.
Yeah, final thoughts. I mean, it's really great to have Nix in the webcast answering all of these questions from the community and promoting the Axie PH community, like the Facebook group and then the pages. And I think it's amazing to see like Sky Mavis hiring someone that was really contributing to the community to really understand, the thoughts and then the common frustrations that these players have in our country, and to hire someone that my experience talaga with that to really understand. So yeah, I'm happy that we got to interview you, Nix, and then we're really excited for the launch of Origin. So yeah, people can find me on Twitter at Chinny CHIIN and then tatlong Y. Ayun. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, may nag-comment on March 30, 3 p.m. Meron pa siyang time
May time
kanina.
pa.
So,
Just
yeah,
dates
thank you
lang
so much,
naman, no,
Nix.
Nix.
Date lang. Yeah, thank you so much, Nix and Shane. So, this is Michael from BitPinas na nagsasabing mag-ingat kayo sa scammers. We will never ask you to give us crypto. Si Nix din, si Shane will never ask you to give them
Yeah.
SLP or AXS. So, all of the discussions here are for information purposes only. So, crypto is risky, play to earn is risky. So, but we are at the forefront of something new. So, ignorance is really expensive. So, we encourage you to read more, read the paper, follow the Twitter accounts of Nix and Chin, of BitPinas, and Axie Infinity. Read and watch everything that you can. So, this is the BitPinas webcast. We are signing off and see you next week. Salamat, Nick.
Thanks,
Salamat, Chin.
guys.
And salamat sa ating audience.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.